Hello, and welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Eric, joined once again with Laughable Karen,
And Monty.
my kitty, our mascot. Um, Bringing you some more General Hospital from 1982. Tell me all the credits and we'll chat. All right, we're covering February 5th, 1982 to February 12th, 1982, and some weird 5 minute thing of Monica and Alan that was terribly cut.
Yeah.
So I think I got like one thing out of that. Um, So they start with Georgia and Amy talking about Ruby's surgery. Ruby's having, I don't think she's having a full hysterectomy, but it's not determined until the time that they need to do a full hysterectomy.
They said
Um,
partial. They said partial.
Partial, right? But she needed a full once they got in there and all that mess. Rudy and Noah are doing the surgery along with Anne as the assisting RN. The surgical RN she became overnight.
Well,
First of all,
she had all the paperwork. Steve just had to sign off on it. And he signed off on it after that time that she um, went into surgery. When Gail made her go into surgery, Steve signed off on her sheet
but
after.
she wasn't trained.
Yes, she was. That's what she was. Remember when she was in the class and she had the paperwork
Oh, right, right,
and
right.
Steve wouldn't sign it? That was her surgical nursing.
Oh, so she was trained, but they would have never put her in this situation, especially with the issue between her and Rudy. They wouldn't
Yeah,
have done that.
no, in real life, absolutely not.
No, but of
But
course in the show it had to be very dramatic.
yes,
And it was actually probably one of the best surgical things I've seen where something actually happened. Usually, like boop, boop, and they do some things, and you look around and they do some things, and you see blood and guts and do some things, and it's like boring, and you're like, so this was actually entertaining.
well, yeah, because Dr. Bradshaw screwed up.
Yeah, but Anne shouldn't have like acted the way she did in there either.
No,
Um,
they're both bad.
it was not a good situation, and Noah should have reported both of them, but he doesn't want to do anything. Um, so Rudy wanted a more experienced nurse because she was not that experienced at this point.
He's not
Since
wrong.
right, he's not. There was a lot of issues with this surgery. I mean, they really should technically both be fired, which she might actually be let go at some point because I know she leaves relatively soon.
Well, Dr. Bradshaw was exhausted,
He
and
was.
and he seemed to be having issues during the surgery of not being able to see or concentrate. So
He
I wonder
even
if he's having
delayed.
issues. Yeah,
He
he
even
delayed
delayed
it.
the surgery. So he might have been better. Maybe he was trying to take a nap. I don't know. They don't really go into it.
No, they said he was held up because he was in a previous surgery. So I think he's doing too many surgeries a day.
Yeah, he was into too many. Lee, Gail, Leslie, and Rick wish her luck. Of course, she doesn't want anyone to know. The old school parents don't tell your kids type situation, which is always annoying. And Luke acts probably exactly how you and I would act, or
Hmm.
I did act when my dad didn't tell me he had something. Uh,
They always do that.
so
They're like, I don't want them to worry. I'm like, do you don't think it's more worrying to find out you had a surgery that you hid from them?
yeah, it's like an old school. I don't know. Like I want people to know, just to be aware. Like, hey, anything could happen if I don't come out of this. It's been fun.
Right, exactly.
Um, Luke and Robert are on. Luke is kind of out of it still because of Laura MIA, all the Laura situation going on. Robert tries to talk to him. Jackie comes in. She saw her Laura number two, her sister, at Wyndham's.
Laura Templeton.
Um, Brian, yeah, but we still have Laura three. So I mean, I mean, this
Laura
might
3
be the
is in
last
the
time we see Laura
hospital.
three.
Yeah, Laura 3 is in the
Yeah.
hospital. Laura 2 is roaming around shopping.
Um, Brian talks to Leslie. I just wanted to point out Brian was there. Didn't really
Yeah,
talk about
Brian's not
much.
on that much right now.
He's on, but he doesn't do anything. He's just kind of like, "Hey, I'm here. I had to work this week because it's my contract. So, but now I'm done." um, Leslie wants to tell Luke, but of course she also wants to be good with Ruby. She knows that she should tell Luke, but again, it's Ruby's decision, so she doesn't
I
want to go
know
against
everybody's
her.
like, yeah, but Ruby doesn't want him to know. And Leslie's like, that's dumb. You know, and
Right.
I was like,
Well,
yes,
remember, no
Leslie.
HIPAA back then. Everybody could tell everything they want.
They're
That's just
all
how it was.
openly talking about everybody's surgeries at that nurse's station. It's crazy.
I mean, some people, I mean, even in real life, like some people were like, we shouldn't talk about it, like, so they didn't. But like, you really could just call on the phone and be like, oh, I'm their dad, and they would tell you everything because that's just how it was back then,
That's
unfortunately.
crazy. That is
Now there's
crazy.
like a lot of things you have to go through. It's
Mhm.
very difficult to get info. Jackie comes back with papers. Um,
Newspapers.
she she says look for carved animals, like stores with carved animals on sale
So
or something.
it turns out that Laura Templeton is a kleptomaniac.
Hmm.
And because they had a bad childhood, their parents died young, Jackie became very assertive and independent, and Laura Templeton became a kleptomaniac. So she
Yeah,
steals these tiny little
little
ivory
paper,
carved,
little
they're ivory.
yeah, they're little animals, kind
So
of like the
she's
ones that came in a tea box back in the day. My dad used to
rose
collect.
tea. I had so many of
Uh-huh.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad
So
might still have them.
I think I might still have the seal. But
He had
like
like 30 of them.
oh, they're
He had a
so
lot.
cute. They're really cute, guys. If you can see them, go on eBay and look at them.
Is Rose Tea still around?
Probably. I don't know. We'll
I
have to look it
wonder.
up. But anyway, so she has this collection. And if you remember early on, Luke found an elephant in that hotel room they were staying in.
Yep,
So
I have
she
that.
needs to replace that elephant. So she's out there
Yes.
trying to steal one.
Because that's what you do.
Yep.
Um, Laura too gets home. Mel's all mad. Where you been? All that stuff.
Hmm.
She actually still remembers things because she snapped out of it with that
Because he said the password,
the password. Yeah.
which
Or
was
is that in
star
this episode?
sapphire. No, I don't think so. Like she
No, it is
doesn't.
in this episode. It is in this episode.
She she talks about sales and he talks about jewelry sales and he mentions a star sapphire and that's the code phrase. And then she
Yeah, which
starts asking him what's going on with the lens and the plan and all the stuff we don't know.
yeah, that's the end of this episode. So I have a lot more in there in between
Okay.
that.
Sorry.
Um, so Rudy says that they have to do the hysterectomy. Noah disagrees. Rudy snaps. He gets all puzzled because he's tired and cranky, and that's because he is.
And he messed up.
Monica and Gail discuss Audrey and Steve's issues. Well, Audrey's really thinking that Steve cheated on her and all that stuff. Which I guess it doesn't look good. But he did say he explained it. He's like, I explained that to you. Like, what, girl?
I think
What's your problem?
it just looks really bad because of him sharing this hotel room with another woman and then
It
the
says, but it's
other the
Steve.
other
He wouldn't
doctor.
do
I know, but
that.
you know what? Like sometimes you get insecure and you think maybe we've been together too long and he's going to cheat on me because remember a lot of these husbands were going to business conferences and probably still do and just cheating on their wives. So
Right.
like he didn't if he's out of contact, he's not talking to her for like a minute and then he's sharing a hotel room with another woman. And then another
Yeah.
doctor thinks that woman's his wife. Like she thinks that maybe they were acting like they were a couple, because why else would this woman say this? Other than maybe that woman wasn't paying that much attention and didn't really care about this situation.
Yeah, right.
So it just
Uh,
puts Steve in a bad light. But you're right. She should have talked to Steve before she did any of what she
it
did.
was very silly, but gave him story. Whatever.
I
It
liked
might
it.
lead to something cute between them.
I liked it because I like Steve. And I like how
Yeah,
bewildered
same.
Steve is.
I like seeing them on. So
Steve,
yeah, I'm fine
Steve
with
is
it.
the
It's
kind of person who just would never even think about it. Like
right.
he would
There's other
never think to
things
cheat
they
on
could have done.
Audrey. He's thinking about the hospital and if
Right.
anyone paid their bills or did their paperwork this week. And like she's like, he is cheating. And he's like, la la la, I like sports. And the hospital and Audrey.
So
I'm
yeah,
being left alone to read the paper.
yeah. Monica still says that she's selling the house.
She's full of crap.
Um, Luke says, "Fuck these papers." He's like, "What's the plan? We got to do something. We can't just be staying here playing with these damn papers." Which I would have been like that as well.
I
And
agree with,
Robert
but
kind of
he's
joins him as
he's
well.
kind of like a sulky baby boy the entire time, and it's very funny.
She kind of holds back. She doesn't want to admit that her sister is like a klepto, but she does.
She's a klepto.
Um, Robert says he's out of it too. Um, things aren't looking good for Ruby back in the OR. Leslie gets a call and heads up to the OR. Robert and Luke make fun of Laura two's klepto
Hmm.
being a close. Leslie calls Luke, but he's gone. So she's actually trying to tell him
Yeah.
um, at wherever they're at. I don't know where they're at. The boat where Jackie and Luke and all are.
They were initially at the boat and then they went to the mall.
They go to the cops. Yeah. Um, and they ask if any kleptos were brought in or
Right.
anything.
No, it's not the
Nothing
cops.
was
It's not the cops. They go to mall
special
security.
forces,
No, mall security.
mall security. I think I do have that. Oh yeah, security
They,
busted
so what
Laura
they
on.
do is they go to mall security and they bluff their way in to find out if anyone had a klepto caught in the store stealing. And the guy says, "Yeah, pretty
Oh yeah, it
blonde
was the
woman,
security one.
but she ran away before I could confront her, and she left the piece, so I didn't really do anything." So now they
Yeah,
know that Laura had been there trying to steal one of the little animals, and they kind of set up a perimeter, I guess, to find her.
yeah, yeah. I guess that's all they can do. Um, so we find out Ruby's in critical condition after the surgery is all said and done. Um, Anne wants the truth out. We basically see that Noah saved Ruby. Without him there, she probably would have
Can we
died.
talk? Can we talk about what happened? Because Dr.
And
Bradshaw
it's
nicked an artery
oh yeah.
because
I
he
only
was
covered the very bare.
no,
So
but
go ahead.
that's the most interesting part of the story is that he was flustered, he was tired, he kept shouting at Anne because he hates Anne, and he wanted her to bring him things, bring him that. All of a sudden, he says, "We have to do the full hysterectomy," and Anne's eyes get wide because she saw what he did. And Noah's like, "Why are we doing the full? She only wanted the partial. We were only supposed to do the partial." And he's like, "Shut up! Basically, I'm the best doctor ever."
I
And they
guess because
start
Noah couldn't see where he was
but
standing. I
Anne
guess
could.
she
So
was
he
right behind. Yeah,
right. So Ruby started massively losing blood, and the only way to save her would be to do the full hysterectomy. So Anne's upset. Bradshaw's upset. He makes Noah take over the surgery because he can't even see right. He's so tired he can't even see straight. So
yeah,
Noah takes over the surgery to save Ruby. And when they call down to Leslie, it's because they need more blood because Ruby's bleeding out. And she almost dies on the table because of how tired he is doing the surgery. And that's why Anne is so angry because
yeah,
she's like, this bitch was too tired to do this surgery. He's overbooking himself and he nicked an artery. And that's why we had to do this extra part of surgery. And that's why Ruby almost died. And we'll get into it in the next one because Noah is just like, very much like, as a nurse, you don't understand anything that's happening. Like she didn't have
yeah.
medical training at all.
Noah's very defensive of
Because Bradshaw's
Ruby.
his like mentor.
Um, uh, oh yeah, this is where Mal says the word. He says the star sapphire thing, and it brings up the project, and she remembers everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Because he asks
Leslie
her why
gets
she just steals tiny little animals and why she doesn't steal like cooler stuff.
Leslie gets a hold of Luke and fills him in on everything. Next episode, February 8th. I don't think we're missing anything. This 6, 7, no. That's a weekend. Robert and Jackie worry about Luke and Ruby. Georgia tells them everything. No HIPAA back then. You could do that. And talks to Noah. He says it was supposed to be a routine surgery. She's like, I saw what he did.
Mm-hmm.
You've already mentioned it. Um, she says he was exhausted. Rudy asks Noah to talk to Ruby's family because he probably feels guilty, but he's not admitting it, of course.
Right.
Um, Rick talks to Luke. He's upset that nobody told him, obviously, which
I'd
we
be
already talked
furious
about.
if my mom did that. I'd be so mad.
Yeah, well,
I'd be so, and
maybe
she
that.
would too. She would. She'd be like, it's no big deal. I'm just having major surgery. It'll be fine. And I would find out the day after, and I'd be furious.
Everybody's surprised that Dr. Bradshaw fucked up because he is one of the best in the world, apparently.
A lot of noises
Um,
about him overbooking himself, though.
yeah.
Monica mentioned
Um,
it. She said she couldn't keep up with Dr. Bradshaw's schedule if she tried.
Jesse gets a call. Audrey's surprised. Everything, like, she's like, it's a routine surgery. Like, how could this happen? It was Dr. Bradshaw. Audrey calls for Steve. Of course, they say that he's at dinner with Vivian, but he wasn't. He was bringing her to the airport. I'm like, whatever. They're just
She's
giving them drama.
I know, but at the same time, do you see how Audrey could get the wrong idea with
Oh,
everything that's
totally,
going on?
totally.
Especially when she calls to find her husband, and she really had to like screw her courage to the sticking point to call because she's so upset about this scenario. So she does it for the hospital, and then finds out he's out to dinner with this woman she thinks he's having an affair with.
It's a Three's Company episode. If
It
only you talked
so
to
is.
them,
It
it would have
so
worked out, and every
miscommunication.
episode would have been 2 minutes.
That's true.
um, Everyone is shocked that Ruby's in critical condition. Again, hysterectomy is usually a routine operation,
No
easy
surgeries are routine.
procedure. Anna and Noah go at it a little bit. Noah defends Rudy, of course.
A lot, and he's really kind of sexist in the way he does it.
He is. Well,
It's a bad scene. And I get it. I understand like the doctor thinks I have so
right.
much more education than the nurse. But the nurses tend to see way more practical operations than the doctors do. So like they are trained almost as well as the doctors are in seeing all this stuff. They don't do the specialized shit, but they do everything else. And he's just like, "You're a nurse." So basically like stay in your lane, stupid nurse person. And Anne's like, "All right, okay, because I'm a nurse. I can't see that he nicked a vein."
Right. Luke gets to see Ruby. She's out of it. He has a conversation with her. They all do that when they're sleeping and they don't hear anything.
It's crazy. They do
Um,
it on every show. They just did it on General in
Dan
the Future yesterday.
Dan's on. He's married with everyone. Lee, Gail, Leslie, Rick, everybody's there. Monica worries something is wrong with Alan
Oh
because he had
yeah.
saw Steve for a physical.
But he also saw Dr.
Um,
Katz.
and she saw that after she looked in his file that he saw Dr. Katz,
He's her husband, so
and that's Mr. Angelino.
Dr. Katz.
um, that he had lunch with him. She's like, "Is he having psych issues? Like, what's going on?" But she still, it looks like, fucks with him. So whatever. I guess she don't care that much,
I
or
love
cares
that
in her own
storyline.
Monica
This
way.
storyline is so funny because it is such a Monica way to care. To like be an ass about it. It's so funny.
Steve gets a hold of Audrey, asks her to come back. He took the doctor to the airport. He says they shared expenses, and she feels the fool, and she's like, "Yeah,
It's
no, whatever."
so funny and so bewildered in that scene. He's just
Of
like,
course,
like
he had no idea what was
he's like,
happening. He's like,
why
"Why
is
is my
this
woman
happening?
crazy?"
Yeah, he's like, why is this happening? I told you we shared expenses. I told you we hosted a party together at one of the hotel rooms. You know all about this, so why are you upset? And when she lays it out, he is kind of like, oh my God, my wife loves me, but she's silly. Like this is a silly scenario.
Noah and Rudy talk.
It's
His
cute.
vision got impaired, he says. Robert brings up O'Reilly to Jackie, so he's opening up to Jackie, and they're getting close, which we know, what happens soon with them.
Mhm.
That's all I got for that one. So if you have anything else for that
Was
episode,
Tiffany in that one? Because like Tiffany
no,
does. Oh, the
not
next one
yet.
then.
No, she is not in until the last episode, I believe. She's
Well,
only in
Monica,
one.
the only thing I would say is that Monica was genuinely worried that there was something wrong with
She
Alan.
was, yes,
She
she
snuck
was,
in and looked at his file, which obviously is a breach of his privacy, but she
because
also
they
is his
secretly love each other, and it's just how they
secretly.
are.
it's
Now,
so obvious they have the hots for each other still. They're so angry with each other.
when
Otherwise, you
you
wouldn't
get
care.
When you get to Heather in this one, I have no idea what she was doing, so you can tell me because I have
Oh,
no idea. I could not figure it out. But anyway, I'll get to it when I get to
I
it.
think I
You
know.
have
I
any
think I
minute.
know what she was doing.
So the next episode, February 10th, I think we missed one. So the 9th, I don't know if it was just off. It did seem like Ruby is recovering pretty quick through these episodes. So she might have been out of it more on the 9th. A nurse from Audrey's past returns. She wants a favor. She wants to come back. Her name's Maureen.
Yes.
Um, We started watching in like I think July of '82, and I don't remember her there. So she's already gone by the time, or if
So
maybe we just didn't know her.
Maureen is from the old neighborhood.
Yes,
She knows everybody, and she trained under Audrey, so she gets
Audrey
everyone.
taught her,
Yep.
and I think Jesse did as well. Taught
No, she
her.
didn't. She didn't really. She's worked with Jesse before, but I don't think they really knew each other because she had to be reintroduced to Jesse. But she's familiar with the neighborhood, and the important part about her is her brother Johnny.
Johnny.
Hmm
which we hear about nonstop, and he's not on yet.
But yeah, he's
um,
important. I don't know so much about her. I don't remember her. Like you said, she's gone by the time you watch it
right.
in the future.
She looks familiar to me. I gotta look her up.
She seems nice.
Um,
I like her.
Jackie and Robert bond more, of course. She lies to Luke to keep his spirits up.
Hmm.
Robert's not happy with that. He's like, "Why would you lie to him?" She's like, "I want to keep his spirits up. Like you got to say something. Like you can't be like, oh, Laura's dead. You don't know." They review the storyline. They go
Hmm.
through everything that they've seen and everything up to this point and all that stuff, which is good for people that haven't watched the past month or if they
Well,
missed episodes for some reason.
remember, you couldn't
Back
watch
then,
every
you had to
day. You
set
had
your
to go to
VCR.
your stupid job.
You got to set your VCR back then. We
You
were
can't
like
watch it on at night.
transitioning from beta to VHS. There was a lot going on in '82. Mel and Laura too talk. She remembers everything,
Hmm.
confused at why she forgot. That
I think
Maureen
they
wants a
kind of.
job,
I think they kind of decide that it must have been David Gray must have hypnotized her because they start talking about his ring and stuff.
but I don't think they know for sure.
I
Like
don't
they
think they
don't.
know anything for sure, but they know he had to be involved because why else would she forget? She didn't have a
That
sudden
man
brain
looked.
injury.
That's it. That man looked cuter later. I was like, is that a different guy? Because he looks cute now, and he didn't look that cute before.
He looked real creepy.
He also looked like Noah. Because for a second, I was like, is that Noah? Why would he be there? And I'm like, oh no, it's not.
You're just like all the dark haired hot guys are Noah.
So I remember I watched a lot on my phone. So it's like
Oh, it's
if you watch it
tiny.
on the big screen, it's better to see. But like when
No,
you
it's
watch
the
it on your
same.
phone,
It's the
a lot
same
of people
guy.
look the same.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Um, Maureen wants a job. She talks to Jesse. So it's basically it's just her getting this job. So she's going to be a nurse, I guess, on staff.
Yeah, Jesse even does a job interview, which is fun.
Robert talks to Mel's assistant. He's trying to find him,
Mhm.
just to get some scoop on
She
Laura
was a cute
too.
little thing, and he flirted a lot with her. It was funny.
Yeah, you could talk about what Heather was doing. She's snooping around. I didn't
Okay,
understand what was
so
happening.
I don't know why she's doing it because it was probably in that episode we missed. But for whatever
Probably.
reason, Heather has decided she doesn't believe in Dr. Katz's credentials or she's trying to get dirt on Dr. Katz because she goes to the secretary for Steve and she starts talking to her to try and get into her files.
I think
And
her
we
name was
know
Nancy. I'm not
Nancy,
sure
yeah,
though.
Nancy.
Yeah.
So she goes in there and she just strikes up a conversation with Nancy because she wants to get into the file cabinets. But if you'll remember, back in the day, file cabinets were all made out of metal. And if you open them, they were so loud. It would be the worst sound
They
in the
were.
world. It would be like screeching, rumbling, terrible noises. So she
Yeah.
can't open the drawer secretly and pull the file out like you can in the future, where they like close and glide really softly. So
She
she
has to
has to
wait
get rid
till
of
she goes
Nancy.
away.
So to get rid of Nancy, she goes downstairs and finds out that Amy needs to buy a birthday present for Steve. So she suggests Nancy go do it because
Because he's her
Nancy is
secretary. Because
Steve's
he's her secretary.
secretary, which actually is helpful to Amy, but also helpful to Heather to get Nancy out of it. And
Right.
her and Nancy had a cute little conversation about how they like to socialize more. And so she set her up to socialize. So like it all worked out for Heather is what I'm saying. And then
Yeah.
she tried to go in file cabinets to get information and she was caught by Audrey. And then she lied and said she was bringing the reports that she brought up earlier for Nancy to get into the office to talk to Nancy. So she's like, I brought the dailies for Steve. And Audrey's like, that's great. Do you want to come downstairs with me and do other stuff? And she's like, no, well, sure, I guess. And she gets pulled into the elevator. Later on, she tries to call Steve's
Yeah. I was
one
confused with
of
that too.
Dr. Katz's previous jobs to
Right.
find out the times when he worked there. And she gets nabbed the first time and then she has to call back. And the second time, she finds out the dates he worked there from one of the nuns that worked there. He worked for like a Catholic hospital. And I don't know what she needs this information for.
So this is the year she's still seeing him, right?
Yes.
Or was that
Wait,
83?
I think she's still seeing him currently.
I think so because I think Joe's involved in that and Joe's gone in 83.
Yeah, because she was
So yeah,
seeing
I think
him. And remember, Dr. Katz had that long conversation with Joe.
yeah.
So I don't know why is she trying to get out of her therapy by getting dirt on Dr. Katz? We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know because I thought she got along with him pretty well, so I didn't know. Or maybe she's trying to blackmail him. You think, or something?
Probably. She's very much into
'Cause
that.
then,
But it's
yeah,
adorable. It's kind of adorable the way she is evil. Like she does these machinations, but they're not that harmful. Like finding
yeah. I'm
out
like
this.
getting my years confused because I'm like, wait, isn't she doing something with Alan? But that's an '83. So,
Yeah, so right now it just seems like
like,
she's trying to get dirt on Dr. Katz for some reason. She's investigating his credentials. Why?
right?
She must have heard something and she's investigating it.
Yeah. So yeah, she's snooping all around.
If you know, please put it in the comments. Like if you were watching and you remember, tell me.
Maureen knows Ruby too because she wanted to see Ruby.
Because she's
Um,
from the old neighborhood. She knows Luke too.
Rudy tells Ruby and Luke the good news.
That she's fine.
Um,
She's gonna recover. No
we
thanks for him.
bro- her brother is Johnny, which we said he's a boxer, so we know where that's going.
And apparently Luke used to
Um,
bully him, but he
she
liked it.
has a sister named Deirdre. I don't know if she comes on or not, but I don't remember a Deirdre,
I
so
don't remember a
maybe
Deidre.
not for long.
If you do, let me know.
Yeah. Amy and Steve. Oh yeah, the secretary do some shopping, which is what we were talking about.
Hmm.
Heather sneaks in. Audrey busts her, but of course she's good at covering up because she's a very good
She
compulsive
was
liar.
so quick. Yeah, she is. She lies like breathing, man. She's good.
I don't know what the truth is from her ever. I don't know who she loves. I don't know who she hates. I just don't know.
I think she loves Joe, but I think she loves Joe in a way of like he could be the man of her dreams if he just did what he
she's
wanted.
make she's making him the man of her dreams by doing machinations behind
She's
his
a
back.
very confusing, mentally ill person, and that's why she needs to see Dr. Katz, who she's trying to blackmail, I guess.
My note about Mel and Laura, but Mel and Laura don't know what to do.
They
they
don't.
just, they just
They don't.
stay there. They're just waiting around for I
They're
don't
like,
know what.
what will David Gray do to us? We don't know. What should we
Uh,
do? Hang out here. Okay. This storyline is so bizarre.
it really is. I feel like there's a couple people writing it, and they're just like, I don't know what to do this week,
Well, he
and I
tells
gotta
her
pay them.
never to leave, and she definitely leaves again to try and go steal another little animal, which
Yeah,
is which leads to the funniest part of the week, which is all of them
yeah.
taking out the mall.
That's the last episode. Yeah, that was great. That was a good. That was a good one to end on too.
Luke was so funny in that episode. I really loved it.
So yeah, Jackie and Luke go over the store plans to trap Laura too. Um,
The plan
then
is
we
so
have this
good.
weird little 5 minute clip of Alan and Monica. She asks him about his issue.
Oh, I love this.
Um, he's
It's
seeing a doc.
it's
He
implied
get
that Alan can't get it up.
he gets trapped. He traps them in the elevator,
Yeah,
and then they kiss.
she's no,
That's
it's
all I
funny
got.
because no, the important part of that is she basically taunts him and says, "What's the matter? Susan's not interesting enough for you to get it up." And he's like, "Shut up." And they get in the elevator together and she's like, "What are you out of passion? You don't have any passion anymore because you're with your little housefrau or whatever." And he stops the elevator. And she's like, "Oh, great. What are you going to do? Make me late for something?" And he's like, "I'll show you passion." And he shoves her up against the wall and they make out. And she's definitely into it because she kind of wraps her arm around him and they are totally
Of
making out.
course.
And I'm assuming that he got excited because he leaves and he's basically like still got it. So like he's lost interest in Susan and he
What did
now
she call him when he left? I forget what she said. I forget what she said. She said something about his lips, like kissy lips, or something. I forget what it was.
something like that, yeah. But
Yeah,
there's
when it was way out.
is this where is in the 10-minute little thing? Do you also see the conversation where he talks to Edward? Because that is
No, that's the next
hilarious.
episode. That's the
Okay,
next
because that's
episode.
my favorite part of Edward being
Yeah, I know.
Edward.
Trust me, I got that. The next episode is February 12th, 1982. Richard Simmons' workout class. Monica, Brian are there, Audrey, Maureen. Talk about the sports center and the boxing and all that. So we know Johnny's coming. It's going to stir something up. It'll be cool to see Amy get a love interest for this
For the one only
time.
time. Guys, does
One and
Amy
only
ever
time.
date again? Because I don't remember. And I asked my mom and she didn't remember. None of us remember Amy dating.
Well, we're in a lot of years of General Hospital, and she's not anywhere around hardly in any of these years. So, yeah, I don't know. 93, I don't think I've seen her one time. Maybe one time in 92.
Hmm.
Um, Robert, Luke, and Jackie go to the store to bust Laura to remember she's a klepto, so she thinks they're going to be there in the, I think it's like the, what department is it? Is it the perfume department? But it's like the little trinkets are there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For whatever reason, it's in the perfume department. And they
Yeah.
have this like big setup, and it's like the biggest ivory hall, which by the way, ivory is illegal now, but like the biggest ivory hall in the world. And she's trying to steal these little ivory animals.
Looks like they used the real store too.
Probably. They probably did. They probably went to the near my like Galleria and were just like, can we like hang out here for the day? Because
Yeah.
it is a location shoot.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a good location shoot. But they did a good job with it. It was funny. Tiffany comes in, talks to Ruby about Jackie. Ruby's like, basically saying like fight for your man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't
Oh, I
think it's
wrote a
gonna
line
work.
down and now I don't remember what it was. Ruby's line was, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, I did write it down. Sometimes I write down what they say because it's interesting. And she says, "Fight low down and dirty, fight to
Mm,
win."
fight
I
to
was
win.
like, She was great. She was like, she basically kept saying, "Tiffany, so why are you lying down taking this? Like, if you want Robert, get Robert." And she's like, "Well, they seem to have this connection," and she's just like, "Screw their connection. Get in there and get what you want. Make him turn his attention back to you. Do it."
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like she could try harder, but at the same time, I think he's just really into Jackie for some reason.
My personal opinion is that Robert never was really that into Tiffany. By the way, he makes fun of her all the time. So
Yeah,
I would have said, cut your losses. Find a hot guy who will love you. Robert is kind of emotionally unavailable. Move on with your day.
yeah.
To be honest, I would tell every woman that's ever dated Robert that, except maybe Holly.
So Laura too gets to the store and starts eyeing up the little animal trinkets. She talks to the lady. She's like getting ready to pocket them,
Mhm.
one or two. I don't know. If she's a klepto, she'll probably try to get as many as I would think as she can.
She wants to replace that elephant, but she's also eyeing like a duck and something else.
Yeah, Maureen starts. Anne's already like talking to her about how everything works. I'm like, everything she's saying is what I do as a unit clerk. So I'm like, I guess this wasn't the unit clerk year. I guess 83 is. Remember when they start talking about like getting secretaries to help the nurses? That's me.
They throw a like sick in to get those secretaries, which was really funny.
Yeah, yeah. That was
Medical
83, I
people.
think.
Yeah, that was
I
83.
think, yeah, early 83. Maybe even late 82. No, Bobby was on for it. So it was
Bobby was
early
on.
83. So confused. Edward comes to
Keep
the
it
hospital.
together.
Edward comes for a board meeting.
He's so
Um,
funny. They're like, "Are you here to see Ruby?" And he's like, "No. Why on earth would I do that?"
he's
He's like,
such
"Nobody wants visitors when they're sick. They want to be left
he's such a
alone."
curmudgeon.
I love
He's
him
just like
so much.
Martin Payton. He's
He makes
just
me
like
laugh.
him.
Anytime Edward's on, I'm like, I'm gonna have a good time.
I'm like,
He's
why do
just
we
so
like these
funny.
crazy old men?
Because they say whatever they're thinking, but instead of it like destroying the world, it just is like a cranky old person saying cranky old person stuff.
Such a
So it's
cranky old
funny.
man. Like, I just want to see this man smile one time. Like, like
He's
we've seen him
happy
once.
though. Like he's this curmudgeonliness is his joy.
I want to see them do like a family photo and him like just be like, smile, just once.
Yeah, Lila would be
I
like,
wonder what
"Can
he
you
was like in real
smile?"
life. I wonder if he was like the
Probably
best
very
guy
funny.
ever.
Probably. He has like if you have that kind of comedic timing, you have to be like like smart as whip. And he was
Yeah.
probably really fun to be around.
So we finally get some action. Laura too is dressed up in this like Carmen Sandiego hat,
Yeah.
jacket. So you can't really tell it's her. So everybody's looking for blonde hair, but of course Jackie finds her. Jackie busts
Well,
her,
it's her sister.
chases her. Jackie bumps into the hypnotizing man.
Dave Gray.
He lurks while the trio discuss Laura too, like where's she at? Did she pass you? Whatever. Looks like I was looking for blonde hair. I didn't see her. Like ran right past both her
First
and
off,
Rob,
how
him and Robert.
these guys were like Instacart shoppers. Like they just did not know. And they were looking for one long haired blonde woman, looked at nobody else. Like they were just looking. And Luke was basically outside with the chestnut sale, like hot roasted chestnut salesman,
Yeah.
having kind of like a side quest where he was harassing this guy who was ripping him off for chestnuts. And
Right.
like
Did
they
you
were,
not pay attention to the woman running? Like, I don't understand. I'm like, this would have been a great
he
plan. And
wasn't
Jackie,
looking in the right direction. Neither was Robert. Robert was looking out away from the doors when she came through the doors. Luke was looking at the chestnut salesman and not at the doors. None of these men were looking at the doors when
no,
she came
Jackie's
out
the
and
only
ran
good
away.
one
And
in the
then
trio.
they're all running and they're like, well, what does she look like? And she's like, she's got blonde hair and she's in a brown coat. And he goes, it would have been great if we knew that earlier. How was she supposed to know that? And she's like, she has her hair up. And they're like, oh no, you changed one detail and now we are flummoxed.
You want to tell the great advice that Edward gave Alan?
Okay, so my hero, Edward Quartermain, is so funny because he's intimated that like Alan can't get it up and that he's having issues because Susan's boring. And he says, you know what's always saved my relationship with your mother? Get a mistress. And Alan is like, Susan is my mistress. And he goes, that never stopped you before. Get another mistress.
Get another mistress.
He's like the key to a happy relationship is to judiciously cheat on one another. And you know what? He's
Forever.
not wrong for Monica and Alan. They cheat on each other forever. It's so funny.
Then stay single. I don't understand. Everybody has to get married. Stay
I
single.
think
If that's
I
what you're
think
going to
they
be
would
like,
no, I think they should have been in an open marriage. They should have both
well,
been able to have
yeah.
affairs. I mean, obviously it's the 80s and we can't do that on screen, but they
They
basically
don't
do.
they don't do that like type of stuff anymore for stories, and it is fun. Like it's a fun way of storytelling. Like they really just don't do that anymore. People just cheat and
And then
it's
they
like
break them
quick
up.
and over. They break them up immediately and then they move on and uh,
I think
it's sad.
it's a wasted opportunity in the
It is.
future when things are a lot more, out on the table like
But
people
I have
sleeping.
faith in Beyond the Gates. I feel like they're gonna play it
We'll
out
see, but
good.
like I feel like they leave a lot of story on the floor when they don't do things like triads that are actually triads instead of love
Mm,
triangles, or they do an open marriage. And why not explore an open marriage where one person wants it and the other doesn't and see how that works, or maybe both want it and it's confusing and funny as they try to navigate it.
yeah,
It would be new storylines for these shows. It would be
I
interesting.
know. I
And
know, but
Monica
it's
and
like the
Alan
same
would have
shit.
been perfect for an open relationship. They could have got together to complain about
I
their
mean,
lovers.
they
They do.
pretty much had an open relationship. They
Yeah.
just never said anything.
Yeah, but they were always mad at each other about it. But they were both doing it all the time. And I also think
Okay.
that Edward and Lila, Edward talks about how he cheats all the time. I'm pretty sure those trips to South Florida that she was going on, she was also cheating on Edward. I think they were cheating on each other the entire time, and they both were fine with it because she is the one. Lila is the one that looks for Jimmy Lee. She looks for his affair partner's kid,
Right.
and they all seem way too chill with the fact that Alan had a baby with Susan.
Yeah,
They were
it's
swingers.
interesting. They were definitely swingers. Um, so the search for Laura 2 continues. Everybody's running around. Laura 3 gets discharged from the hospital. The one that
Leslie walks her
was
out, doesn't
hit
she?
by a car. That one.
Yeah, the one that was hit by a car.
She thanks everybody. She's like, "Oh, I wish Luke and Jackie were here. I guess they were close at some point, like when they were
Well, they
doing the
probably kept checking on
investigating."
her, yeah. And she's like, good luck to the other Lauras. Bye. Okay, what was the point of you?
And does some snooping on Rudy. She talks to that lab dude.
Yes. And she finds out that he doesn't do a lot of the pre-operation testing that he's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Uh-uh.
And of course, Noah's furious.
They're both on their way out. I feel like it's going to get them both fired. And that's going to be the end of that.
Well, remember Dr. Bradshaw was saying something about how his family didn't want to come here anyway, so you think he's going to just move to the other hospital?
Well, I thought he was only supposed to be there temporarily anyway, but I
Yeah, and
guess,
he's been on forever in
yeah, he's
Soka.
been on for at least 5 months, I think, at this point. Maybe 4.
I really like Dr. Bradshaw. I don't know why they took this turn with him. He's always been arrogant, though. That's always been there.
It ends with they're still hunting Laura too. They're chasing her. That weird dude looks at the skater and it's like fast, fast, fast,
Right.
and makes the skater. Does the skater go over the edge or does somebody else go
Jackie.
over?
Jackie
Jackie goes over the edge?
hmm
I couldn't tell who went over the edge.
Yeah. Jackie goes over the edge.
Okay, so Jackie went over it. I
hmm
couldn't tell, and like she didn't scream or anything, so it was just kind of like,
Because it happened
you
really
over.
fast. Like the skater just
Yeah,
sped up to like 90 miles an hour or whatever he could do on those tiny little quads. And then he ran into them and Jackie went over and it's like a bridge. So she just went over.
yeah, it was
It
weird.
was crazy.
It was like a ramp bridge, like because I guess because you could skate up it, and then like, so
Do you think
she's probably not hurt,
do you
but
think it
she,
was like a walkway? Like one of those ones that goes over the highway?
yeah, it was like a
Sky
little
bridge?
walkway. It looked like it was weird. I'm trying to think of where that is. I'm like, is that? I don't know if I've been
Yeah.
there.
Remember, we've been to California a couple times,
I
but
haven't been there since 2011.
I haven't been there
Plan on
since
going in June though this year.
2014 was the last time, and I miss my friend Melissa. I hope she's doing well. But
Oh
like
wow, you went after me.
2014, yeah, I went on a road trip to California. It was really fun. I recommend doing that once in your life, but get in the car with somebody you like. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, right.
We had a great time, but you know.
So anything else to say about these episodes? They were good. They were fun. I liked
I
them.
think the storyline with David Gray and all the Lauras has so many like moving parts that
Yeah,
I don't think I understand what's happening yet.
I don't think they know what's happening yet.
But it's
I
like
feel
there's
like the writers don't know how to end it.
I'm starting to think that Laura number 3 was just an accident. I think he was aiming for Laura Templeton and he got Laura 3. Um I also think this was not I mean, this might just be because future knowledge. I don't think any of this was aimed at the real Laura, the one we care about. I think all of this was aimed at Laura Templeton because she knows about whatever this plan is with the lens and the photographer
Yeah,
and
but if he was able to hypnotize it out of her, why can't he keep it out of her? Like you'll never remember
because he
this.
put trigger words. That's why. If he didn't put the trigger words, he could have hypnotized her not to remember any of it. And
Right.
there would be no way to trigger it. So why did he instill trigger words? What was the point of
And
that?
why is he still hanging around? Like if he's done his job, like what are you doing? Like I just
Because
don't
there's
get it.
something with the lens or the part of the plan. This is only part 1 of the 2-part plan. And we don't know what part 1 or part 2 of the 2-part plan is.
No,
Um,
it's so weird.
I kind of like that they have the extended storylines. Like, you know, in the future, sometimes you're like, the storyline happened and then it's over.
Right.
I do like the ones that are like extended like this, but sometimes it's just like, I need a little more. I can't live at the edge of my seat. I need to have a
Right.
little bit of information. So like that's confusing. I do
At
I
least
do
they
think
got
that
out of at least they got like some action in it this time. So that was kind of
yeah,
good.
the mall stuff was really funny. Luke interacting with the chestnut salesman was really comedy gold. It was great stuff.
Yeah, it was.
He was very funny the entire time, and he's telling people they're getting ripped off and all. It's cute. I really enjoyed that. So much Robert didn't
Yeah.
really get much of that. He was just watching the doors and chilling. And then Jackie got a lot of time inside the mall. And that whole creepy interaction with David Gray where she's just like, let me go. And he's like, with his magical hypnotism powers. How did people think hypnotism worked back then? Because it doesn't work like that. You can't just walk up to somebody and hypnotize them like that, can you?
Yeah. And it was also weird that they had like a quarter of the cast like just like worried about Ruby and like kind of floating around in the hospital, not doing really much. And I was
I
like,
don't think it was weird that they did
almost
that.
like filler.
Yeah, it was filler. But I feel like that in real life, that's more like a real life thing that people would just all
It
be going
is.
around,
Right. But I
unable
just
to
feel like I
concentrate
don't
on
know.
their jobs. The storyline with Steve and Audrey was kind of a nothing burger, but it was like
Yeah.
cute and fun, and I liked pulling them to the front for a minute.
Yeah.
I was really into that. I love that Monica and Ellen are angrily kissing. I think
Messy.
they're messy. I want them back together. I
Hate
think I
kiss.
told you months ago when Alan was on the couch and Susan was like begging for his attention that Alan was bored with her. And now we're
Yeah.
seeing the fruition of that. Alan is bored with her. Monica is a sparring partner. She's a fellow doctor. She's super smart. And she's just everything Susan isn't. Susan's just normal. Like she's just a normal
Right.
girl doing normal girl stuff. And Alan can't handle that. He needs a partner who can match him, which is funny because over the years, he always goes from Monica to cheating on Monica with some girl who doesn't have a tenth of Monica's personality. It's like he's like, I need a break from this. And then he
Right.
immediately gets bored with that woman because she's not as fun as Monica.
Yeah.
I love Monica.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Um, yeah, I don't think there's a year that I've seen so far that they're like happy. They're always fighting about something. Where I'm at in '93, they're like fighting about AJ. So
But I think that that's how they express their love to one another is through sharp conversations and bickering. Because you'll
right,
see when they get older and they start to chill out, you'll start seeing it, I guess, before Alan dies. They have the fighting, like they start bickering with each other, and then he'll put his arm around her and they'll keep bickering as they walk out of the room. So their love language is to banter and fight with each other.
and we need to know what the hell Heather's doing. We don't
I
really know.
Heather is her motivations are not sane. So
And
it's
where's
kind of
Scotty?
hard.
Scotty wasn't in any of these.
No. Where is Scotty? I feel like we're saying that in the
Is
future
she?
too, because Scotty tends to disappear.
He really does.
He disappears for months at a time, and everyone goes, Scotty's never coming back. We're never going to see Scotty again. And then,
He's
like,
on.
on a random Tuesday, Scott's there. And it's just
I
like,
know.
where did he go? He went on vacation like he does every year, guys. Relax.
I think the
He'll be
actor plays
back.
games too. Ken likes to play games with fans, I think. Because he's always like, I'm done at General Hospital, and then he's on like next week, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, Ken Shriner has a really fun sense of humor. He's a very
Yeah, he's
odd
crazy.
duck. I love when he goes on and he talks about Turner classic comedies
Yes, yes. I just like something today he posted, which
and
was
he does
about classic.
videos with Marcus Colombo and
Yes,
he's a real
the two
character.
dicks.
He's a real
I love
character. Check
them.
it out on Instagram if you're not.
Yeah, it's on
Um,
Instagram, it's YouTube, it's everywhere. I think they're
yeah,
on the third season.
I don't like to promote Instagram because I don't like it. I don't like Meta products, but they're worth it. They're a lot of fun, and if you can catch them on Blue Sky or something, that would probably be a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Ken Shriner just he comes, he goes. He comes, he goes.
yeah.
I want him back though because I miss his sense of humor right now. I think the show could use that quirky,
You
offbeat.
need some sense of humor.
Yeah, sometimes the show gets too serious, and you really need Maxie, you need Scotty, you need Obrecht, you need characters that come on and break that dramatic feeling and make it a
I'm
little
in
silly.
September of 2024, so I'm just getting the Emma Sam's and Lucky's Return.
You're gonna have some fun. You're gonna have some fun,
I know, I'm
and
excited.
you're gonna be like, "Why did this happen this way?" That's what you're gonna do for like a couple months until you get
Nah,
to
I'm
the
gonna be
end.
like Holly's here and I don't care.
Holly's
I love my
awesome.
Emma.
I know Emma
She
Samms is
is.
cool. I
She
love when
is.
she comes on, and everybody's like, "Oh, they're never coming back. That was their ending." I'm like, doubtful, doubtful.
And you're watching the Colbys with Emma Sam's too, so you get
I am.
double
I get a
doses
double
of
dose of
Emma.
Emma. I would watch everything with. I mean, I'm watching Emma Samms
She's
right
great.
now in like '83 with you for fun, and then
And
I'm
we got to
watching
see her in
her.
Models Inc.
Yep,
And
and I'm watching her
she
in
was
the
a monster
Colbys.
bitch.
Yeah,
Yep.
she was in that. She's really soft. She's really soft as Fallon right now, and it's kind of like
Yeah,
okay.
like she gets stronger and she comes
Yeah,
back
because
to the
she's
dynasty.
Fallon. She's amazing. She's amazing. But
Hmm.
I think it's great to get to see her in multiple properties and the different characters she plays. And when she comes back where you are, she looks so great. She just looks amazing.
I know. She does not look her age at all.
I love seeing
Looks
her
like she's
opposite
50.
Like her and Finola Hughes play off each other really well. So
Yeah.
it's exciting for me to see Robert's exes fighting. Even
Right.
though like they've been broken up with him for what, decades now. It's so funny.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for joining us today. Subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know if you're liking GH82. Did you know this storyline? Is it crazy? I know there's one viewer out there that comments. I want to know. I know you didn't like Laura and Jackie, I think you said.
I don't think a lot
Which
of people
is,
liked Laura and Jackie because they felt like forced replacements for Laura Spencer.
yeah. Jackie, I feel like came on a lot stronger. Laura was just sitting around doing nothing for her first month, and it's kind of crappy.
I mean, I know what she does in the future, and it's still not much of anything. She's just
No,
kind of a nothing character, unfortunately.
they
She's a
really
good
didn't
little
do
actress.
anything. I
Obviously, with
wonder
Dynamite,
if they had bigger plans for her, and maybe there was just bad fan reaction, so they just like
I do
wrote
think
them
there's a
out.
lot of. I know from my mom talking about it. She calls her fake Laura. I think I mentioned that before.
Yeah,
She calls her fake Laura. She says I don't like fake Laura. So I think there's a lot of vitriol when she came on, which is unfair to the actress. It's not her fault.
yeah. I guess they felt like she was replacing Laura
Well,
because
she
her name was
was
Laura.
because they pushed
Yeah,
her into that storyline with
but they didn't push
Jackie.
her with Luke. You know, like they
Maybe they
didn't.
were going to, and they decided against it
Yeah, that would have been weird, I guess.
because it looks like
Maybe you're right. Maybe, or maybe they wanted her as a buffer, and then like when Emma Samms came along, he got with Holly. Like, you know, like I don't know what happens with these.
I think they thought they were going to put him with this new Laura, and it was going to be the same feeling, which could never happen. Nobody's Jeannie Francis, please. So
No,
when it didn't work out, and they started trying to push her into other storylines, I think she ends up in a storyline with like Blackie
Scotty at one
and
point,
Scotty.
Blackie,
So they keep trying to chemistry test her with other
chemistry.
people.
Yeah, it does seem like it.
And it doesn't seem like they ever got their footing with her, which is,
No,
again, not the actress's fault. It just didn't work out. And the audience,
right, right,
I think the audience continued to hate her because of her intro. And that can happen, Natalia. Like it can
right.
happen. Like your introduction can be so bad that everyone hates you forever. And I will. But
They will. So yeah, let
but
us
I think
know.
like it seemed like they were doing Jackie with Robert, new Laura with Luke, and they were going to do like that. They were
And
going to do
Robert and Jackie do have good chemistry, and it's better than Tiffany and Robert's. I think. I
because
think.
Robert's mean to Tiffany, and he treats her like
Yeah,
she's stupid, and she's not stupid,
yeah.
and he calls her washed up all the time, and he thinks he's
Oh,
cute, but
and
he's weak.
I, I did forget to mention that Noah crossed paths with Tiffany in Ruby's room.
Yeah,
That's important for what's coming. So I'm like, that's getting them together, and she does show interest already in that. She's like,
I know. I feel bad for Tiffany because, like Tiffany said, her only friend was Laura. Really,
yeah,
she doesn't know how to be friends with women because she's always been in competition with women for
she's
acting roles and men. So she doesn't really know how to interact with women in a healthy way. And Laura
right,
was not her competition. But remember when she
Mhm.
became Miss Star Eyes, she was immediately Tiffany's competition, and Tiffany started getting mean to the point where Laura
right.
had to call it out and be like, "I'm your friend. What the hell?" And Tiffany's like, "Oh yeah, you are my friend. What am I doing?"
Well, if you like all ABC soaps out there, we are doing an online watch of on our Patreon. We're doing All My Children. Janet from another planet came to town, and she takes over her life, or Natalie's life, her sister.
I love it.
I think we're like 10 or 15 episodes in. It's really good stuff, and it has Jeannie Francis on there as Sierra, and she is amazing
Also,
as always.
Is Janet Heather yet? Is it
Huh?
Robin? Is
No,
Janet
no,
yet? Okay.
no, no, not till 94 that happens, I think. And we're in
Mm.
91.
Oh,
And that's good stuff. So anyway, join our Patreon. We have a lot of other things over there as well.
I know on Patreon eventually, Tommy and I are going to be covering Casey the Alien. So if you don't know the storyline of Casey the Alien, it's from General Hospital and it's
Coming
ridiculous.
soon.
Coming
Coming
soon.
soon.
Coming soon. I got to talk to Tommy about scheduling, but he's done a super cut of it, so we're gonna we're gonna dive into that eventually, and I'll let you
And
know.
on that note, have a good one, everyone.
Bye.